Hi, my name is Adam Kleist, and I'm a graduating senior here at the U. When I first got here, I discovered that I have a passion for studying foreign languages. But it was only in my final semester here that I took my first class in indigenous languages, learning some Dakota and some Ojibwe. This class made me start to question how I had made the decision to study Spanish, Portuguese, French, Italian, Chinese, and Russian before ever getting around to the languages of the place where I'm from, here in Minnesota. So I got together with Dina and we made this project to look at how people choose which foreign languages to study.
Hi, I'm Dina Zhang, a junior at the U of M. English was not my first language, however, it is now the language I use the most frequently. My first languages were Mandarin and the Fuzhou dialect of Chinese, which I learned growing up in southeastern China. However, after I moved back to my hometown of Hibing, I became immersed in English and lost the majority of my Mandarin proficiency. While taking this class, I have reflected on the importance of language to one's identity and culture. I also became curious as to why people chose to learn languages in the first place and what factors contribute to their decision. We asked students at the U what foreign languages they had taken, and based on the responses, over half had taken Spanish, and other European languages dominated the remainder. We also asked them why they chose the language they did, and almost 30% of respondents said they chose the language based on its popularity and recognition. Other responses also suggested the language was chosen simply because they were familiar with it and wanted to take it to enhance their career. Now, let's hear from some students themselves.
In the context of freshmen coming into the U of M, a lot of them, I think, I would actually recommend them not all just going for like Spanish, for example, because everyone thinks it will be applicable. Though for a lot of these students, they have to do the language requirement, and they're not really planning on using it after college, no matter what. So whether they take Spanish or some other language, it's unlikely that they're going to be applying it.
Why might a student major in Spanish and Portuguese studies? Well, I would have to ask, why would a student not major in Spanish and Portuguese studies? There are so many incredibly interesting things to learn about, so many different countries that one can go to and experience. I think there are a lot of skills that will help students very much in many different kinds of professional areas that they can go into.
What I'm learning through the Chinese flagship program is directly related to my major, international business.
After I graduate from college, I hope to work in a multinational corporation somewhere in a Chinese-speaking country, so definitely something I'll be able to use on a day-to-day basis.
So I think unless you already have a specific plan to utilize a specific language, you should really just choose any language, especially one that is lesser taught, because I think you're then actually more likely to get a lot out of it. More people are going to stay with it and enjoy them. So I think for freshmen choosing, maybe don't think about the application as much, because especially if you're unlikely to use it at all anyway, then why would you care about choosing the most used one if you're not going to use it anyway?
Let's go back to that language poll. Do you notice what languages were not represented? That's right, several colonial languages, but not a single response for Dakota or Ojibwe, the languages rooted in Minnesota. Why might this be the case?
Ke wone tumen getting away with it now. Ojibwe moen.
Kawange abini bua nishinabe Ojibwe mo siwag.
Chipitain dagwad o Owen Waywin. Begish no ajabadak miziwe. Gekino ma diwig megong in dayang miziwe.
Agawa go goshkuzi magad Ojibwe mon. Mi wenji gugwe kendaman Ojibwe mon yin. Je goshkuzi magak Ojibwe mon.
back into we need all the help we can get because our language is in trouble. We have so few speakers in Minnesota.
Ich bin wann tuyang idin way when anon. Awen ingo jig gash ki tu semen je shaing je goy kind among you. Dibish go. Ich bin we kind among you Japanese moin. Japan get die ja. Ich bin wann tuyang. O jibboy moin going gash ki tu semen je shaing with the agama king. O mag document
We abeji nanda ge kind among o jibboy moin. Engi ge kino ma ge bangi. Kiji tayan o ma o ge kino ma diwigmik. Ne we ge kino ma ge. No waj. Bigish o jibboy mo tawagwa. Ne ni janasag. And dabenu jinsag. And dage chimin wain dan.
Wenji gagwe ge kendaman o jibwe moen. Je gashkituyan. Je o jibwe mo tawagwa. Ne ni janasag.
Ni janasag. The
U of M Dakota language program states this. The land called Minnesota Makoche is home to the Dakota people. The Dakota language reflects that relationship, and it is evident in the names of different places throughout the present-day state of Minnesota. These include Minnesota itself, or Minnesota Makoche, meaning cloudy water, Minnehaha or Minnehaha, meaning curling waters, and former Lake Calhoun, Medemakasca, meaning White Earth Lake. The Dakota language program is part of a movement to counteract language extinction and revitalize the Dakota language. Due to federal policies of genocide and ethnic cleansing in the 19th and early 20th centuries that attempted to assimilate Dakota people into Euro-American ways of life, today, there are only about 5 first language speakers of Dakota who were born and raised in Minnesota Dakota communities. With only about 20 speakers from Dakota communities outside of the state, there are currently more second language learners than first speakers of Dakota.
But who should take the language? Who should take Dakota? I think everybody, if they're on Dakota land, they should take Dakota. Yeah. I know, and I say that as not just as a teacher, but as a Dakota man. I encourage people to speak our language, and it'll give you a different take on. It's the same thing that those elders told me, that you'll have different experiences, you'll gain a wider perspective. So it's very important to have it on campus, because for many people, as I've seen over the years, them taking the language class, even if they just take one semester, it kind of starts that fire of them starting this lifelong journey. And not just for Native students, we do have a few Euro-American students who have gone so far that they're teaching the language, whether it be to children or adults. Also, because our language is in trouble, we need all the help we can get. So anybody that wants to learn the language, and more specifically teach the language, doesn't matter if they're a Dakota or not at this point, as long as they're doing it for the right reason.
If massively global, Fortune 500 type languages are the future, then the future might look a lot like the ugliest parts of the past. Now, here at the U of M, we have over 20 different languages to study. I would strongly recommend choosing a language class here. And choose a language not because it's the most popular or lucrative, but because it's exciting. Exciting to learn the language that is so deeply connected to the land we currently reside on. Exciting to take part in and become a voice of resistance to colonialism and imperialism. We need all of the tools we can access to solve the problems facing humanity. Dina and I, and many others, believe that think globally, act locally should be applied more to language learning. Get involved with the Dakota and Ojibwe programs.